Hello friends, welcome to our channel Knowledge Amplifier. So in my previous video I have shown you how you can ingest the S3 data lake data that can be in CSV format, JSON format or Parquet format, whatever. So I've already discussed that how to ingest this kind of data from a particular location in S3 to a particular Snowflake table using copy command, right? We manually wrote the copy command and then we executed manually. But if you think in industry level projects, when we are moving to production, when you are running our jobs in production, then obviously this kind of manual activity is not possible, right? And there are several teams who might need to do this kind of activity, that is from different S3 locations. They might need to load the data in different Snowflake tables. Okay, so for that I have created one generic job. First I am going to discuss the architecture or the algorithm what I have implemented. Then I will show you the code walkthrough, and then after that we will discuss the demo also. Okay, so without any further delay, let's start our discussion. So what will happen that if you have deployed this particular Python script, what I am going to provide in the description box or in the comment section, if you have deployed already that into production, then suppose some new requirement is coming to ingest the data from a particular S3 location to a particular Snowflake table. All the data analyst or the data engineer need to do is configure this particular CSV file properly. Okay, because here all the required configurations we are mentioning, like for example the database name, the schema name. The database name is basically you have to write here that database where your table is existing, to which table you want to ingest. Okay, the schema is basically that particular schema you have to mention inside which your table is present. Then table name, to which table you want to ingest the data, that is this is your destination. Okay, then stage object. Okay, so as you know that to connect in between Snowflake and our S3 we need to create external stage. So what is the external stage that we need to mention here? Then inside external stage there can be multiple folder location. So here we need to mention the S3 file path to be appended with the stage object to make the ingestion successful. Okay, so inside a particular stage there can be multiple child folders. That child folder path you have to mention which is related to the stage object. Okay, so basically after stage object this particular path will be appended, and then from that location the data will be ingested to our Snowflake table. Okay, then here warehouse name, which warehouse you have to use to execute the copy commands in the backend. Okay, what is the role you should be using. Okay, then here file format. File format is basically saying that what is the file format which you want to load from S3 to Snowflake. That file format has to be created in Snowflake beforehand, and that you need to mention here. Okay, and then pattern, like for example many times from a particular S3 folder we need to ingest the files which is following a particular pattern, right? So that pattern you can mention here. So if you mention all these parameters, what the Python script will do in the back end, it will create the copy command dynamically, and then it will execute and ingest the data. Okay, that's the simple thing what it is doing. But obviously it is keeping track of all the audit informations, and if copy command is basically failing to load some particular records, in those kind of informations, those rejected records also it is storing in separate tables. That I'll be explaining soon. Okay, so I hope you understood what is our initial config file has to be. So the architecture goes like this. First step, the metadata stored in CSV file prepared by data analyst. Okay, so data analyst basically has to prepare this particular file. The column names like will be in this manner. Here they can make entry as many files they want to ingest as possible. Okay, that will not have any restriction that how many ingestion possible at a single time. Okay, so then what it will do here, based on this particular metadata file, it will execute 4 simple commands. Like first it will use that particular warehouse whatever mentioned in the metadata. Okay, then alter warehouse resume if suspended. Sometimes suppose data analyst is mentioning some warehouse which is in suspended state. To run our copy command we have to resume that, right? So that command is executed. Then use this database, use this role. All values it will be basically taking from this config file. Okay, once that is done, it will dynamically prepare the copy command in the backend, and then it will basically execute that. Okay, and as you know, whenever we execute some query in Snowflake, one unique identifier is generated. Okay, so we will be basically taking that particular query ID and that query ID will be basically using to understand how many rows are rejected, how many rows are ingested, those kind of audit information. Okay, so here you can see I have got the query ID. Then what I am doing, I am checking the status. Okay, so just you have to execute this particular code, that is select status from table result scan, and here the query ID will be coming inside the curly bracket limit 1. So why I am executing this, the reason is sometime it might happen that you don't have any new file in your S3. All the files already earlier copy command has loaded in the Snowflake destination table, and now if you are executing again copy command, then copy command will not reload the same files again, right? So if there is no such new file to be loaded, so if you execute the copy command, you will get this message, copy executed with 0 file processed. Okay, if this is the message we are getting, then we will conclude that due to execution of this particular copy command, number of rows inserted is 0. If that is not the case, okay, what I will do, I will basically try to fetch the number of rows inserted due to this particular copy command execution. And how we can get that? So whenever you execute copy command, you will be getting the rows loaded for individual files. How many rows was loaded to our Snowflake table? Okay, so suppose copy command is loading 5 to 6 files. So for all of them, we have to accumulate the rows loaded column, and then we will get total number of rows which is ingested as part of that copy command, right? So to understand number of rows ingested due to one particular copy command execution, what we can do, we can execute this command, that is select sum of rows loaded from table result scan, and here we can pass the query ID for this copy command whatever executed. Okay, so this will give me number of rows inserted due to execution of this copy command. So this way we are getting that information, that how many rows inserted in the destination table. And another thing we have to keep a track, that is some records might be getting rejected. So for that I am basically using this particular line, that is captured the rejected records in copy underscore cmd underscore rejects. We will be basically creating a table separately where all the rejected records will be stored, and I have already discussed how you can get those records which are rejected while executing copy command, and that is basically happening using validate function. So if you want to know those detailed explanations, you can go through the link given in the description box. Okay, so here I am capturing the rejected records, and I am taking the count also, that is in this particular copy command execution how many rows are rejected, those kind of information. Okay, and then all these informations, how many rows inserted, how many rows rejected, what is the Snowflake warehouse used, okay, what is the role used, all these informations I am taking and I am putting in a audit table. So this will not be a metadata table, this will be audit table. Okay, so in an audit table we'll be keeping track, so that in future suppose some data analyst want to understand where in which copy command it took more time, or what's wrong going on with one particular copy command due to which lot of rejected records are generated, all this analysis can be done from the audit table. So that's the simple architecture what's happening. So now I will go to Python code and I will explain the process. So first what I am doing, I am importing pandas as PD. If required, we'll be using this, and Snowflake connector obviously required because we are going to execute the different Snowflake code from Python Snowflake connector only. Then here user ID, password and account I am providing. So here I am using user ID password based connection. If you want, you can use key pair based authentication also. In the description I'll be providing the link so that you can explore. Okay, and then here I am creating the connection, right? Then here I have written 3 functions which is very common and I have already discussed in my previous videos also several times. That is diff run query. What it will do, it will just run the query and close the cursor. Okay, then this is run query single value return. So it will run the query, and if required it will return a single value which is the query is returning. Like for example, select max of a particular column from a table. If you calculate, then you will be getting a single value, or select count star. If you do, you will be getting a single value, right? So for that we can use fetch one function to get that particular single record, and then once I am getting that, I am closing the cursor and I am returning the record. Okay, right? And then here this particular function is there to execute the copy command. Okay, it is same like almost this particular first function, only difference is when I'm executing the copy command, I am returning the query ID also, because if you see our this particular flow here, the query ID of this copy comment execution we are using in several places. Like to understand what are the rejected rows from the copy comment, for that we need that particular query ID of the copy comment. Then what is the status of the copy comment, to understand that also we need query ID. How many rows inserted in the destination for execution of the copy comment, to understand that also I need the query ID of the copy comment. So different places we require, right? So for that I am taking the query ID and that one I am returning. Okay. Now here comes our main function which is running diff execute copy command. Okay, what I am doing, first I am reading the metadata file. So here I have hard coded the particular file where all these kind of informations are stored, which is written by data analyst team. So if you want, you can take this particular file input as command line argument also using sys package in Python. Okay, and then what I am doing here, I am basically iterating in the data frame. So first I am reading that particular CSV file using pandas, and then here I am iterating pandas row by row, because for each row I have to create the copy command and I have to execute, right? So for that I have read here all the configurations whatever user has mentioned for a particular row, and then here what I am doing, I am setting up the environment. For that, use warehouse name whatever user have mentioned, alter warehouse name, resume if suspended, use this database, use this role, all these kind of statements I am executing using run query. So run query is nothing but this simple function which is just executing one query and closing the cursor. Okay, because for this kind of SQL query we no need any return value, so for that I am using run query. Okay, then here what I am doing, I am creating the copy command dynamically, copy into, then here you can see 3 space I have given. If you see string formatting I did, first in the first curly bracket the database name is coming, in the second curly bracket the schema name is coming, in the third curly bracket the table name is coming. That means copy into database name dot schema name dot table name. That's what I am mentioning here. Okay, then from @ we generally use, and then here external stage object. So whenever you execute copy command, just recall how we do, that is copy into the Snowflake table name from the stage name, then slash, you can give some more path, right? So that's what I am taking here, @ external stage name, then slash the S3 file path. So inside stage there can be multiple folders, so that subfolders or child folders I am basically taking and then appending here. When I will be running the code, that time it will be much more clear. Okay, I'll show you that. Then here I am mentioning file format, the pattern, and on error equal to continue I am putting, so that if for one single record, if that is having some mistake and our Snowflake is not able to load, then also it will continue. The rejected records will be storing in a separate table which I will be showing. Okay, then here I am executing the copy command using run copy command, this function. Okay, if you see here run copy command, this is the function. Here I am returning the query ID, right? So that's what I did here, query ID of the copy command. I am taking the query ID, and then here I am trying to understand the status. Okay, because sometimes, as I have told you, that if there is no new file to be ingested from S3 to Snowflake, then copy command, what it will do, it will just simply throw a message copy executed with 0 file processed. So in that case, obviously number of rows inserted is 0, right? So I am basically trying to understand that using this query, whether really some files are ingested or there is no new file which copy command has ingested. Okay, so select status from this particular table, limit 1 I am doing, and then here I am executing this particular query using run query single value return, because here I am returning the status, right? So I need to get that value whatever we are getting. So I am running this function which basically returns a single value, and then here I am printing that first value of result set of the above copy command execution is this one. Okay, whatever I will be getting, that might be loaded, that might be partially loaded, that can be load failed, or that can be copy command executed with 0 file processed, anything. Okay, whatever possibility, and based on that we will basically try to understand or calculate the count of records what copy command has ingested. Okay, so here I am defining the variable count number of rows inserted by copy command equal to 0. I am defining this variable, and I am checking if this particular value, whatever this select status return, if that is basically this one, that is copy executed with 0 file processed, then I am not doing anything, because that time count of number of rows inserted due to copy command is obviously 0. But if not that is the case, then what I am doing, I am taking the sum of rows loaded for this particular column. I am passing the query ID of the copy command, and I am getting how many total rows loaded in the destination table, and that I am executing using run query single value return function. And then here I am printing that number of rows ingested or inserted due to copy command execution is this much. Okay, right? And then here I need to capture the rejected records. So for capturing rejected records, here I have created one particular table which is having the name copy command rejects. Okay, I will show you the DDL of this particular table and I will share in the description box or in the comment section also. No need to worry. Okay, so reject collector. Okay, what I am doing here in this particular table in the same database and schema, I am ingesting all the rejected records. Okay, along with that some more columns I am inserting, like what is the query ID of the copy command, okay, what is the table name where it tried to ingest, what is the current timestamp, and apart from that here you can see I am using validate function with the job ID of our copy command, that is our query ID of the copy command we are passing, and that way we will be getting that whether any rows the copy command unable to ingest or not. Okay, so once we execute this query in the copy command reject table, all the rejected rows will be captured. Okay, so that in future any data engineer or data analyst can come and they can investigate for which rows why it got failed. Okay, right? So here what we are doing now, here we are trying to understand how many rows are rejected. Okay, so first what we did here, we basically ingested all the rejected rows in this table. Now we can use this table only to understand total number of rejected records while executing this copy command, right? That is select count of distinct row number from copy command reject table where query ID equal to our copy command's query ID we are passing. So why I have given count of distinct row number? The reason is very simple. That is, it might happen that you have some corrupted row in which multiple places in the same row error is present. Okay, so that time if you just simply do a count check, then what problem might appear, that if for a single row multiple times error occurred while executing the copy command, then that same row will be coming as multiple row in the copy command reject table. I will show you that. So all those errors occurred in same line. So for that I am using count distinct row number. Okay, because row number basically give me the row in which error occurred. That can possible that in that same row multiple times error occurred or single time error occurred. Those information will be present here. Overall here I am just calculating how many rows has issue. Okay, so for that I am using count distinct. Okay, I am computing that, and finally I am inserting all this in our audit table. Okay, so copy audit is the table name, and here what I am doing, I am querying from information schema query history, and I am passing the query type equal to copy, and the query ID of the copy command I am passing as filter condition. So that way I will be getting all the informations, okay, whatever happened while executing this copy command in the copy audit table in future. Okay, there are 2-3 columns which are not present in information schema query history, like for example how many rows inserted and how many rows rejected, that we calculated above, right? That is how many rows inserted, that one we calculated using select sum of rows loaded. Okay, how many rows rejected, that we calculated using this particular query, right? So that way once I am doing that, I am here executing run query for the audit copy, and that's it. So this particular piece of code will be executed for all the line in our this particular CSV file, and here I am finally calling this particular function, that is execute copy command. That's it. Okay, and now in Snowflake what I did, let me show you. So here I am basically creating copy command rejects. Okay, so we need two tables, one table to store all the rejected records while executing copy command, another table to store all the audit information. So for that here I have created the structure copy command rejects, and here this is the one copy audit. So all these queries I will be providing in the description box or in the comment section. So here what I did here, basically I am creating the Snowflake external stage pointing to a particular bucket. So for this demo here I have created two buckets in the S3. One is demo bucket 1, another one is demo bucket 2. Okay, so here I have created first one Ramu database, and then here I am using that same database. Here I am creating the copy command rejects table which will store all the rejected records by copy command, and the audit table, and then here I am creating the external stage. Here I am creating the file format, and then here I am creating two tables which will be acting like our destination table of the copy command. Okay, I will show you that. So all I will do, I will execute all these queries all together. So here all are executed successfully, and here Same way, I have created another database, prop database if exists demo2, and then here also I am creating the copy command rejects table to store all the rejected records by copy command, and the copy command audit table to store all the audit information. Okay, and here I am creating the external stage pointing to another bucket, demo bucket 2. Earlier one was pointing to demo bucket 1. Okay, and then here what I am doing, I am creating the file format. So here I am creating JSON file format, right? And then here I am creating a table with variant column, and then all these things I have done. I will just execute this code also. So here our initial stuff is ready. So if I just do our destination table select star, here you will see currently nothing is present. Similarly, if our copy command reject table also nothing is there, and copy command audit table also nothing is there. Okay, so now let's just execute this particular stuff. What I am saying here, that in this particular database, in this particular schema, in this particular table, the data should be ingested from this particular folder inside this stage. Okay, so our Snowsimple stage is where? Our Snowsimple stage, if you see, Snowsimple stage is basically pointing to demo bucket 1. If I go to demo bucket 1, inside that we are having two folders. Okay, one is iris flower set. So here I will upload some data for the demo. So here I am just taking simple iris dataset. So here I will take my Setosa flower class, which is having 50 records. Okay, so here it is done, and then here in customer folder also I will be inserting some records, customer data. Okay, fine. And then here what I will do, I will go to my another bucket. This is demo bucket 2, and here I created one folder, JSON testing. So if you see our config file, here the third row, basically here we are mentioning JSON related information, that these first two rows are belonging to Ramu database. This one is demo2 database, that is our second worksheet whatever we have created. Okay, there we are mentioning this particular table where data has to be ingested. Corresponding to that, we are mentioning the file format. We are also saying only the JSON related files has to be ingested. Okay, so here I will upload the data. JSON loader, here I created a dummy JSON file. So here I uploaded data everywhere. All I can do, I can execute this particular code. Okay, so it is going to take some time just to start the process. Let's wait for a couple of seconds. So user is empty, it is saying. So here basically I have not given user ID password, so I'll be providing that. Account number we have to paste. So here I will go to Snowflake, and here I will be taking my account number up to AWS. And password also I will be pasting, which I cannot show you. So here run this particular job again. So here you can see reading the metadata file, use warehouse, alter warehouse compute if suspended. So from here it is taking the compute WH name. This is coming from basically this particular column like that. Okay, then here it is using the role, then here it is using this particular database. Okay, and then here it is executing the copy command. Okay, so here you can see copy into this particular table from Snowsimple. So Snowsimple is basically our stage, and then inside this particular folder our data is present, right? So /iris flowers, like that it is going. Okay, right, and it is executing the copy command. Then here it is checking the status. So for the first value in this particular output, what we are getting, that is loaded. Okay, because copy command has not thrown any error. Then once that is done, we are checking the sum of rows loaded from the copy command. It is giving us 50, and as we know that in Setosa class in iris dataset there are 50 records only. So that is done. Then I can show you the data once. So this is the one part we ingested. So here you can see if I click on this particular column, here you will see we are going to have 51 count. Okay, 51 count means first row is header, so total 50 records. Okay, so that means it has calculated properly only here 50, and then it is inserting the rejected records in the copy command reject table. Okay, and then here it is calculating the total number of rejected records, and then it is making the entry in the audit table. So let's see what happens here. So if I do select star from this particular table, here we will get the data. Perfect. Okay, and then if I query another table customer which was also empty, here we got the customer data also inserted. Okay, now let's see copy command reject. There is no data because no records was rejected by the copy command. And now check the audit table. Here if I make this audit table little bit large, here you will see that the first column is query ID of the copy command. Okay, then query text, what command it has executed, that is also it is showing. Okay, then here if I go little right, database name, how many rows inserted. So in our IDs table we inserted 50 records in Setosa class. Okay, so that's what it is showing, row inserted 50. But in another CSV file what we uploaded, that was having 100 records. Okay, so it is showing 100. Then how many rows rejected, what is the schema, what is the role used, what is the warehouse used. Okay, all this information it is showing. What is the execution time of the query of the copy command, okay, in millisecond. What is the ETL time when the query was executed, basically that also we are capturing. So this is called auditing, right? And even in the JSON data also I can show you. So if I do select star from this table, here we'll see JSON data is ingested. If I go to copy command reject, currently nothing is rejected. And if I execute this particular copy audit table, here you will see that this is the copy command. So it is basically ingesting JSON data. Okay, and if I go a little right, here 3 rows inserted, because in our JSON file what we uploaded, it was having only 3 records. Okay, so here you can see this is the first record, this is the second record, and this one is the third one. Okay, right? So that's why 3 records only coming in our Snowflake also. So that way we can see that it is working fine. Now let's see how it can handle the error in copy command. Okay, so for that what I did, I will go to IDs flower folder, and here I will show you the versicolor file. Okay, so if you see here, I will just make this bigger, petal width. So see here, this column in Snowflake, what we mentioned in Snowflake while creating the DDL, we mentioned the petal width as number data type. That means it is expecting number column, but in our actually data here it is having string value. So let's see whether our copy command is handling this part or not. So I will click on don't save, but before that you can see total count. I will just click on column A and see count is coming 52. That means total 51 records are there, because first row is header, and out of 51 rows this row has some problem. So copy command will basically ingest total 50 rows out of versicolor file. Okay, and then one more file I will be uploading, which is Virginica, another IDs class. So here also it is having 51 records. First one is header, so total 50 records or 50 rows has to be ingested. So if I upload versicolor and Virginica together, then 51 plus 50, 101 records are there, but one row has some issue, so 100 new rows should be inserted. Okay, so let's see that. I will go to my first bucket and I will go to this particular folder and I will upload the data. So both the files I am selecting, and here I am uploading. Okay, so here I uploaded, and now let's run this particular code. So here it is finished. Now if I go to my Snowflake and if I just search on IDs flower, currently you will see 150 rows are there, because already 50 rows was inserted. From Versicolor out of 51 new 50 rows came, and from Virginica 50 rows came. Okay, if I just execute copy command audit table, here you will see that 2 more new rows came. And here if I just expand this, here you will see that here ID's flower set second time also executed, and total new 100 rows was ingested, but out of that one row has some issue. So in rows rejected, this giving 1, and then if I move right, all this information we are getting. Okay, now here we will be having the rejected row in copy command reject table. Here if I expand that, here you will see that for this particular copy command query ID, in this row error happened. Okay, see here 1.5 hola. So 1.5 was coming in petal width, which was a number type column, but here we have mentioned string, so that's why error occurred. Okay, and the error also, it is clearly mentioning conversion error. Okay, right. Now let's upload another corrupted file where we are having 3 error. Okay, so if you see this particular file, I will just expand this one. Here in this particular row issue is there 1.5 hola, and here in the same row in 2 places error present. Okay, because sepal length also we mentioned as double type, petal width also we mentioned as double type in the DDL of our table, but here we are passing string. Okay, so in 3 places error are there totally in this file, and there are total 6 rows. As you can see, out of those 4 rows are correct. First row, third row, fourth row, and fifth row, these rows are correct, and 2 rows have issue. Okay, so let's see how our framework is handling that. So I will go to S3, and here I will upload 3 error file. I'll upload this one and I will run this one. Okay, so actually here when I'm running, then for the customer file also and for this particular table also, it is trying to execute copy command, but as there no new records was there, so those are basically not impacting in total count. That is not a problem. Okay, so here you can see process executed. Now if I go to my Snowflake and if I execute my iris flower table, here I will see 154 rows. Okay, because in our that particular file what we uploaded latest, there 4 rows were correct. Okay, but now let's see our copy command rejects. Here you will see for the same file what we uploaded, that is 3 error file what we uploaded just now. Here you can see 3 error file we uploaded. For that in 3 places error was there, so 3 rows are created. Okay, but actually only in 2 distinct rows error was there. Okay, 3 places error was there, that is fine, but totally 2 distinct rows. So here that's why I have applied the count on distinct row number, so that way I can understand in how many distinct rows error appeared. Okay, so that we can basically get in audit table. So if I just execute audit table, here if I just make little bit bigger, here you will see that this is the copy command in ID's dataset when it tried to execute. Here rows rejected 2 rows rejected, 4 rows inserted. Okay, and suppose you want to know that which rows are rejected, if you want to analyze that, very simple. All you can do, you can take this particular query ID from the audit table, and then here you can go to copy command rejects table, and here you can put a filter condition where query ID equal to this, like that. Okay, so that way you will be having a complete control on your framework. Okay, see here it is clearly giving 3 rows, that means in 3 different places error occurred. So here first one, it is showing this particular row where 1.5 hola was there, and apart from that there are 2 more rows which is there, but actually this is same row, but in same row in two different place error was there. So that's why byte offset you will be getting different. Okay, but the line or the row number will be same. So that's what I basically did here. Okay, right. So I hope you are getting it. Now let me upload another file to show you in all possible situations this particular framework is working. So here I am uploading a file which is having wrong schema. So here you can see ID, name and location. This one we will upload now in our S3 location. Okay, so this is not at all matching with our destination Snowflake schema. So obviously 3 rows error we will be getting. Okay, so let me show you that. I will just try to upload the content. Wrong schema. This is the file, and here it is uploaded. I will run this. Okay, So it is done. Now let's go to our Snowflake table in IDs flower, whether any new records came. No, 154 only it is there, whatever we got earlier. But now if I do select start from copy command rejects, here we will be getting some more rows. Okay, and if you see here, number of columns in file does not match the corresponding table. In table there are 6 columns, but in our file there are 3 columns. That's what it is showing. Okay, and all these rows here it is giving one Microsoft Washington. Okay, that is basically first row of this particular file, like that. Second row, third row, everything is present. And if I go to copy audit table, here also we will be getting that due to execution of this copy command, here we got 3 rejected rows. Okay, and 0 rows inserted because the complete file itself is wrong, right? So that's how it is working. And now let me show you another interesting thing, that here we have given pattern, right? The importance of giving pattern is it will not ingest any data apart from JSON. Okay, let me show you that. So in the first 2 rows, the data analyst has not configured pattern. Basically, it is indicating .star, that is all possible files it will be taking. So what I can do, I can go to my customer folder. Customer folder is basically indicating my second row where .star is there. I will upload a picture. Okay. So here capture.jpg I am uploading. If I am uploading a picture and copy command will try to execute, obviously it will fail. Okay. But here, on the other hand, in this particular bucket, in this particular place, because we have mentioned the pattern as tar.json, so if I upload capture.this one, then also we will not face any error. Okay. So like for example, I will go to quick access and here I will go to capture and I will upload. So it is uploaded, and now let's run this one. So here you can see it is almost executed, and here it is done. Okay, so if I go to my second worksheet and if I just execute this particular query, select start, here now also we are having 3 records only. Here if I go to copy command reject, nothing is there because here we have mentioned that I want to take only JSON related data. Okay, and if I go to copy command audit, here only first time 3 rows was inserted. After that, always whenever copy command is executed, we are getting 0 0 0 0. Okay, but here in my first table, if I go, because in the copy command query we have given .star, that is all files it will try to take. So obviously that JPG image it will not able to take and it will throw error. Okay, so here you can see that file name here in customer.jpg like that it is coming, and table name is customer. So for this customer table we are facing issue because in that particular folder only we uploaded this particular JPG file, and you can see for one single file different errors we are getting. There is number of columns does not match, like that or whatever. And now if I go to the audit table, here also you will see rows rejected 516. That means basically one image when the copy command is trying to load, then these kind of possible errors are generated where 516 different errors are coming. Okay, like that. So overall hope you are getting that using this particular code we can have a complete audit idea. Okay, how many time it took to execute the copy command. In future, if you want to understand why your copy command is running slow, that you will be having a proper investigation. Okay, how many rows rejected for different copy commands, here you will be getting. And once you see that you are getting a rejected row, you just take the query ID, you go to copy command reject table and you can investigate. Okay, so this is a flexible and good framework with respect to Python Snowflake integration. If you are working in this domain, you can have a look into this particular code. I'll be sharing this, and obviously you can improve, you can adjust as per your own requirement. So if you find this video helpful, then please like, share and comment. Subscribe our channel if you have not subscribed till now, and don't forget to press the bell icon to get the notification of our latest videos. Thank you.